What's up everyone, Impulse24 here. Welcome to the channel in today's video. If you enjoy what you see, you know what to do. It helps me out and lets me know you're enjoying the content. Comments are always welcome, but please try and keep it clean for the younger viewers. I'm going to try to keep this intro short and sweet. It's basically what you read in the title. It's going to be a review, good and bad in my opinion, of Call of Duty Black Ops 4. I'm going to break it down into 3 different sections. It's going to be the multiplayer, the Blackout, and my overall review. So, like I said, nice, short, and sweet. Now enough of the droning, let's get to the gameplay review. Alright everybody, let's just jump right into it. I'm going to start off with multiplayer first, the good and the bad, and then I'll move on to Blackout. So these are in no particular order, they're just my opinion in the order I happen to write them down. First thing is boots on the ground, more or less. I like that there's no jetpack joyride BS, besides a grapple hook and a little exaggeration on being able to jump and reach objects. It's mostly 99% boots on the ground, which I love. So the next thing would be, it's modern. We're done with the World War II, World War I, whatever old school stuff. Thank God. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it got tiring really quick. I like more modern weapons. I like feeling like, and it's just more of what I'm used to seeing. It's my style of gameplay. It's my style of guns. So I like that. Gun balance. Probably one of the most important things they did in multiplayer. I feel like they did the best job out of any Call of Duty they've ever had. You have a chance of winning a gunfight no matter what you're using, unless it's a sniper rifle like everybody knows. One shot, quick scopers for the win. You have a chance of winning no matter what gun you're using. If you're using, say, the MX9 against the Cordite, you have just an equal chance, despite that the guns are different stats. The same with AR. So any weapon within its own class, you have an equal chance of winning. Awesome thing they did there. Self-heal. Love that too. Now it's more responsibility of the player to pay attention to what's going on instead of letting the game play for them. I've had it myself multiple times where someone was like, hey, you know, you got like no health. Oh, thanks for reminding me. And yeah, that definitely could have cost me a gunfight when I should have won. So that's another awesome thing they put in there. Swimming, not really a new feature. You've been able to do another Call of Duty games. I'm just glad they kept it instead of, you know, you dying when you jump in the water, because apparently water is like lava. The point system, I like that they brought that back. I like that you can choose as many attachments or as many perks as you want, as long as we're set within that points. I would kind of like maybe a few more points, but you know, I'm not going to really complain too much because they did bring it back. Now a little bit of the negatives. The specialist charge. Not a big fan of the recharge rate. I know they make a perk that you can increase the rate of charge, but at least in Black Ops 3, if I remember, if you're having, at least for me, an okay game, you could usually still get your specialist ability probably twice a match if you're kind of pushing. In this one, if you're watching my other videos, you know, 35 and 5, 27 and 3, pretty good KDs, kind of moving at a decent pace, and I get it like 1 3/4 times, so not even twice. I think they need to up that just a little bit. The quick scoping, which has been a problem in pretty much every single Call of Duty game. They need to do something about that. I don't care about snipers being one shot, but I mean, you need to go for a little bit of realism. I know it's Call of Duty and you play Battlefield or whatever, but be a little bit more real. I mean, it's ridiculous. The fact that you can just take a random 50 cal and just right off the whim just nail somebody with it with complete accuracy is a joke. There should be maybe a half-second delay once you're fully scoped in, or the computer just doesn't let you fire until it knows you're fully scoped in. So I definitely think they need to tweak, as they always do. The 150 health, not sure why they did that. I mean, it's something different instead of 100, but does it really matter that you have 150 health? Why don't you just make it 100 and just nerf the bullet damage on all the guns a little bit, and then when your specialist ability kicks in, that you know you can med your teammates and get them up to 200, just make that 150. So I'm not quite sure why they did that. I mean, guess just because it's different. The escort dog, probably one of the most annoying things that they did in this entire beta, at least for me. I've had times where I felt like I put a full magazine into it and the thing still murked me. There was definitely an instance where 3 of my teammates were all shooting at this thing at the same time, and it still almost killed one of us. I don't know what kind of roids that thing is on, or what they're feeding it, or what kind of armor they give it, but it definitely needs a nerf. That's awful. The attachment stacks, not a fan of that. And if you've played, you know what I'm talking about, such as Hollow Point. I don't know if it's so called Hollow Point, but that's trying to remember off the top of my head here. Basically, you can have a perk that does increased damage to the head, and then if you want to use the one that's increased damage to the body, you have to use them both. You can't just pick one or the other. I'm not a fan of that. You should be able to customize as much as you want, so I think they should make that free to choose which one you want. The weapon specials take up, I believe it's 3 slots, and now I'm talking about like belt feed on the Cordite, or Wildfire, I believe it's called, on the I don't know, it's the Vesper looking one. I'm sorry, I can't remember right now. But the fact that you need to get rid of, like, say, your armor or, you know, whatever else you're going to be using, you have to get rid of that, choose the specialist weapon ability, and then it takes up 2 slots in your attachment section. So maybe it should be a total of 2 points used. I'm not a really big fan of taking up 3. I know why they did it, just because, you know, it's supposed to be good, but I don't think it made that much difference. The limited attachments, and what I mean by that is you don't have the same attachments throughout the class of guns. Like, you can't get the suppressor on all the ARs, you can't get, you know, a grip on all the SMGs. Like, I understand you have to have a little variety, and just the way the gun is designed, maybe you can't, but I just feel like the attachments are way too limited for the guns across all the classes. The triangle for the kill streaks, I don't like how they did that. I know they say, you know, it keeps your finger on the directional stick, but I never had a problem with it. I mean, granted, I play with the, as you saw on my gear, if you check that out, I play with the Strikepack F.P.S Dominator, which attaches to your controller, so I program it to my toggles underneath anyway. But for people who don't use that or don't want to or just can't afford it, I feel like it's kind of a handicap. You have to hold it down. If you do it too quick, you might switch weapons. That can get you killed. I don't know why they really changed that. It's not. It takes 2 seconds. Not even 2 seconds. It takes 2 milliseconds to switch your hand to the D-pad and just use it that way. So, not a big fan. Now, that's, you know, really all I could think of right now, and I don't know. I think that's pretty good. So now I'm gonna move on to Blackout. Positives. It's different as far as a Call of Duty standpoint. Call of Duty went outside the box on this one, and I know why they did. They did it because right now, big ass battle royale games are what's in right now. PUBG started it, and Fortnite is just killing it right now. But, you know, I can see what they did it for marketing, especially. You're gonna make more money because people are gonna want to try it out. People are gonna want to buy it. So I like that they, you know, they took the dive in. I mean, granted, they had some, you know, platforms to work off of by PUBG and Fortnite. So I think it's good that they tried something different, but we'll see how it turns out. Like, the beta wasn't too bad. I kind of enjoyed it. It was something to do when you get bored of multiplayer. Like that there's no building. I know that PUBG didn't have building. I know Fortnite does. I'm not a huge Fortnite fan. I'm not going to say I'm good at it. I only have a couple wins. But I just like that this focuses more on gun skill. You can have an equal chance of winning in a gunfight, not because someone knows how to build better than you, and, you know, that's all that game. I feel like building's like the main majority of that game, and it is, but I just think a skills fight is, you know, more what I like, and I think it's makes it more fair for everybody else. Transport. I like that they put vehicles in it. I know, you know, PUBG has vehicles, and now Fortnite does too, but I like that they did vehicles. Granted, the map itself isn't that huge, and you can run across it in a relatively short amount of time, or get to the next zone in a relatively short amount of time, but I like that, like, you know, they just put more into it, and it's not just, they didn't tackle just the ground, they tackled the air and the water as well, so I think that's cool how they put more than one dynamic in there. One hit on the vehicles. I like that a lot. The reason being is because if you're going to have the opportunity to get somewhere a lot quicker, a lot higher, and a lot more out of harm's way, I think there needs to be a good balance of, you know, using the vehicle, and I think a one hit is kill to the vehicles is just awesome, and you have enough time to get out, especially when you hear the lock on, so I think that doesn't need to be tweaked at all. Storm damage. I think they did a good job with the storm damage. I like how it starts off a little at first and then increases quite dramatically actually if you get caught in it towards the end. So I think they did a great job with that. It might need a tweak a little bit, but as far as I'm concerned, I like it. I like that they did the attachment route with the weapons. It's not just like Fortnite where you just get the gun and have fun, and more PUBG style. So it makes it, you know, it makes it individual. You know, everybody has something different on there. I typically like to run with suppressors. Some people don't. Some people like the long barrel, but I think it was great that they used attachments. For the negatives, I think the rate at which a storm moves, as in when it's actually moving, I think it's too slow. I don't think you should be able to outrun the storm. I think if you're fooling around too much or trying to, you know, camp the guys around too much. I mean, granted, I do some camping myself, but I think it just moves too slow. I don't think you should be able to outrun it, at least on foot. If you're in a vehicle, different story. That's why they put them in there. So use the vehicles, but I'm not a fan of how slow it moves. I think healing yourself is way too quick. I know that sounds weird. It's like, oh, but you know, then you get back in the fight quicker. Especially for the big med pack, I think they're just too quick. It's almost, there's almost no point to use the little meds because the big ones heal almost as quickly. So I think they need to definitely turn that up a little bit, especially for the one that gives you the extra 50 health. Definitely need the trauma pack. Definitely need to tune that down a little bit. And I also think the revives are way too quick. That's probably between health and revive, I would take the nerf on the revive, quite honestly. I know that, again, that doesn't make sense. Oh, but then you get, if you're outnumbered, you want to get your other guy back in the fight to help you. Your other guy shouldn't get killed in the first place. Should have been paying attention. I know shit happens, but part of my language, little guys. But that's how it is. Somewhere between this, the way they have it, and Fortnite, because Fortnite I think is just way too long. I think they need to find that nice happy median somewhere in there, and then it won't be too bad. Hold to pick up items. I'm not a huge fan of that. I can understand putting that maybe for just the weapons if they can actually, make it do that. But as far as all the items, holding it, it's just the pain. Sometimes you think you did it, and you don't hold it long enough, and you run right away from it. You check your inventory, it's not there. You're like, where the hell did I leave it? I think just a tap would be good. I'm not a fan of the holding down to pick up a weapon. I think they should change that. Armor. It's good, and it's kind of like in the middle if I did 3 categories. I like that they have armor in the game, but I don't like that only the level 3 has the helmet. I think you should either give them all the helmet and just have them the helmet do the proportionally to the level of the armor that you have, or just have no helmet at all. So I'm not really, that's the part I'm not a huge fan. I like that you have armor, but I'm not a huge fan of the helmet on there. And the downside is they didn't really do anything new. And what I mean by that is, it's just another battle royal. They weren't the first. They kind of copycatted off some other people. And I understand, there's only so many things you can do, but it's just another battle royal. It doesn't have anything to me that really gives it that pop factor. It doesn't have anything for me that says, I'm going to buy Call of Duty just to play the Blackout. I'd rather honestly play PUBG, because I'm not going to spend 60 or however much money you spend on it, depending on what version you get. Like, I don't know, it doesn't do anything for me. I mean, maybe when I get tired of playing multiplayer, granted, I would jump over to it. Granted, I did have a good time playing it, but it's not something I would invest the majority of my time playing the game. Call of Duty, by actually like the multiplayer aspect and the story mode, which I don't know why the hell they didn't do that, because they have, if nothing, Call of Duty has amazing story modes. That and Battlefield, they really have good story modes. So if that alone, I'm surprised they didn't do anything with. Now, my overall perspective on the game, I think it's going to be good. I don't know how I'd rate it. It honestly could have been one of the best Call of Duties as far as a multiplayer standpoint ever, if they had gone all out on the multiplayer. And what I mean by that is, like, forget Blackout. Like I said, Fortnite's got that on lockdown. PUBG is right behind that. I just would have taken all my resources, all my time and energy, especially if I was going to make single player, and put it on to multiplayer and made the best Call of Duty multiplayer ever. It still could be, but it definitely would have been if they put a lot of time and energy into that. And I'm talking, like, improve the graphics. Granted, their graphics aren't terrible, but we know Call of Duty graphics are not the best graphics out there. I would have put all my time and money into the graphics, into just the gameplay, maybe just everything. I would have put all in on the multiplayer, because when it comes to multiplayer shooters, 99% of the people think Call of Duty, because that's what's been the mainstay for the, past however many years. So I don't know. You see why they did it from a, financial and strategic standpoint, because that's what's popular right now, but I don't think Call of Duty is going to have the following. Definitely not a Fortnite, and probably not a PUBG. Like I said, I wouldn't buy Call of Duty just for Blackout. It just, like I said, it's not that good. It doesn't have anything that really pushes it ahead and has anything going for it. And let's see, what else I have? I don't know. I guess that's kind of about it. Like I said, I think the multiplayer is going to be really good. I think they did a lot of good stuff with it. I hope they improve some of the stuff on beta. And again, I know this is all just a beta. They have, a month or however many weeks it was from when they stopped the last Blackout beta. So I think multiplayer is going to be good. I liked it in the beta. It was definitely one of my favorites to play over the Blackout. And I think it's going to be good. Like I said, I had a great time playing it. If you watch some of my other videos, which I really hope you do, I did pretty good. And like I said, those weren't the only videos I had. Those were the ones with just the highest KD. I had some 3 and 4 KDs in there, but almost anybody can get those KDs. So I'm looking forward to see what they do. And I hope you guys enjoyed the short review. And we still probably have some time left. So I'll let you guys enjoy the rest of the gameplay. Take it easy.
to indicated safe zone. Circle collapse imminent. Get to safety. Net call. Supply drop incoming. Be advised. Further collapse expected. Relocate to safe zone. Circle collapse imminent. Get to safety.